you see what Sam's been able to do for the Razorbacks. Obviously, there was a clear upset of Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. Can that upset carry over and give your Bulldogs a real fight?
I think it can. I think their brand of football can. But, Key, you know this, too. One thing that's important about this week, big week last week. Got to get up for A&M. Hadn't beat them in 9 tries, and top 10 team, really physical game. And now you got to do it again. And I don't know if y'all watched Georgia, but they had a scrimmage last week against the local high school team, and it was over by the end of the first quarter. It was 62-0. They're sitting in a good spot, being well rested, being extremely healthy. Guys not having to play a lot of reps, so it's not a great spot from that standpoint for Arkansas. Arkansas, they better be able to throw the football, and they showed spurts of that last week before KJ Jefferson got hurt. But once he got dinged up a little bit, it went to crap quick. And so I think the passing game, if they get in third and long situations, it's not going to be good for them. I think it's a tough spot for Arkansas to be in, but they're going to have to make plays in the passing game, that's for sure, and that's not their strength.
David Pollack, I have to ask you a question, man. Who has the better chance of making the upset actually happen? Are we talking Ole Miss at Bama, or you think Arkansas at Georgia?
Hotty toddy. I think it's Ole Miss, Jay. I think they can score, man. If you go, and I was watching the other night, late in the morning, early in the morning, whatever you want to say. I went back and watched that Alabama-Ole Miss game again. Like, Lane Kiffin destroyed Nick Saban last year. I mean, he made him look silly time and time again. They had no answers. I'll argue that I think Ole Miss this year is better offensively than they were a year ago. I think Alabama's defense is actually worse than it was a year ago. So I can see Ole Miss scoring 40. And I know it's at Alabama, and that makes a difference. Is Ole Miss's defense legit better? They got transfers, and they kind of addressed that side of the football, and they've looked good so far. If they can get a few stops, they're going to be in this. They're going to score points in bunches. So I think it's Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has a realistic shot to beat Alabama.
Cincinnati goes in the Notre Dame favorite tomorrow, Pollack. Does Cincinnati have a realistic shot at making the college football playoff?
I think this year more than ever they do. Because you look at college football and you look at how everybody looks. Nobody looks dominant. People are saying Alabama and Georgia, and then they're trying to find those next teams to put in that window. Ohio State already lost. Clemson's already lost twice. Oklahoma has not looked dominant by any stretch. So, this is the year. First of all, what they did last year, I think, is a big deal. Going undefeated, going to play Georgia, making that a really, really competitive ball game, bringing everybody back. Now, if you can beat Indiana and beat Notre Dame, who's a top 10 team, look really good doing it, look good the rest of the year. I think this year, in a year where there's a lot of average and there's not a lot of great, I think this could be a year, if any, for Cincinnati. They can maybe sneak up, make some noise, and maybe get in the playoff.
Okay, break it to me, DP, because, I'm a Duke guy, ACC guy. Any team from the ACC have a chance and get into the playoffs? Like any team?
No.
It's the laugh.
Not seeing it, bro.
The laugh is the thing that bothers me the most about a DP, the laugh.
My bad. Basketball season's coming, bro. We're going to have some good times coming your way here in a little bit. I tell you what, Wake Forest, to me, is a team that's going to win 10 games. They're a team that they benefit from the super seniors. I think they have 9 super seniors back who are guys that are there for their 6th year on campus that know the system. So I think they're really good with Hartman. They're really good offensively, really good defensively. I think when I watch, they're the best team I've seen right now in the ACC, and it's not saying a lot because Virginia obviously been up and down. Miami's not very good. You watch Clemson. They're not even close to what we've seen of them in the past. North Carolina, good Lord. Sometimes they look really good. Sometimes they're terrible. So I think Wake Forest, if I'm saying that correctly, Jay, is the cream of the crop in the ACC, and that kind of is all you need to know.
All right, it's the first of the month.
Wake Forest, huh?
David Pollack, who is the Heisman frontrunner 1 month into this season?
Good luck. I think Matt Corral is probably the Heisman frontrunner, and he's putting up video game numbers. And you watch him against Alabama, he's going to do the same thing. I mean, he's a dual threat guy. He's basically a running back that can throw the football as well as anybody in the country. He's that kind of athletic ability. He's got kind of athlete. So it's him. But whoever wins, Ole Miss, Matt Corral versus Bryce Young in Alabama is clearly going to be the front runner, but I think this could change a lot. Like when you look at Georgia, they're going to be a great team this whole year. They don't have a guy that's going to be in the Heisman mix. So it's going to be interesting to watch who comes, down the stretch hard this year in football, who makes a big push, because you look at Iowa, they're a top 10 team. They don't have a guy. Notre Dame doesn't have a guy. You have to be on a good team. You have to be on a team in contention to win a Heisman. That's kind of been, the rules that people have, voted by for years and years and years. So I think it's wide open. It's as open as we've seen in a long time.
Pollack, how hot will Lane be if he goes into Alabama, wins that game, or he loses one game this year? How hot will he be on the coaching circuit?
This is an interesting one because, Lane Kiffin obviously has baggage from the past from USC that you saw that he struggled. He struggled to run it the way you should run it. He didn't run the program correctly, and he was immature. But you've also seen him kind of turn the page and kind of grow up and do better, and you've seen less antics. So Lane Kiffin's one of the best offensive minds in all of college football. And if you're asking me to pick one guy, he's probably the best. Look at what he's done for Alabama. I mean, he completely changed Nick Saban's direction offensively, his philosophy, how he was going to call plays, how he evolved. Like, that literally is because of Lane Kiffin coming in there. So it shows you how great of a thinker he is, how great of an offensive mind. And I think he's showing you maturity. So, Ole Miss gave him a shot, and it's been rewarded so far. But I would, if I was making decisions, I would definitely continue to monitor it. Can he continue to keep his head on straight? Can he continue to be disciplined, run a tight ship, and not let guys, not let guys do whatever they want, make sure they're held accountable, make sure he's a great leader. And I think he could earn that respect back and back. But there's no doubt about it when you talk about offensive play caller, the dude's elite. I mean, he's the best of the best.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.